the Knobcat Games Dungeons of the Obelisk podcast. I'm your host, Joe Sleppy, and I'm joined today by our digital alchemist, TJ Yadacernia.
Hello.
And if this is your first time on the podcast, this is a sort of a digital audio version of a devlog where we kind of talk about what we've worked on in the past 2 weeks, and hopefully it's interesting to you. Our game is called Dungeons of the Obelisk. It's a 2D turn-based dungeon crawling loot grinding adventure. Yeah, so in the last 2 weeks, I feel like we keep accomplishing a lot of stuff that I've been waiting a long time to see in the game. The main thing that we've hit is we now have drop rates, and we're starting to get loot dropping in the proper place at the correct rarity, which has been, I might use this term a lot, but like game changing.
Yeah, so the changes to drop rates and finally have them implemented makes huge differences to the game. Originally you could go through, kill a single enemy, and the next thing you know you get a legendary just immediately, and your character scales up so fast through that method. Now that there's actual drop rates and you can start having the elite enemies or higher ranking enemies drop legendaries, you're kind of slowing down the gameplay. So kind of like a balanced thing to finally get the game working as it should, instead of like spiking through and shooting up past all the levels. In a matter of moments, you now have to kind of bring it back a bit and like build your character up over time.
Yeah, and it's a lot more fun too, I think, in the early levels. Because, like, before it was so broken, you'd just get a legendary, you'd have enough strength to just kill everything, and you'd jump from, like, level 1 to level 5 or something. And now it's like each piece of trash and uncommon item is actually potentially useful to you now. So it's kind of neat to be able to, like, farm and get those things early game and start leveling up. And it's a little bit of a balancing thing now, because like I'm starting to use those things more. You know, before I'd try to like ignore the legendaries and just equip that way, but now you actually have to do it, so it's really changed the process for testing.
Yeah, and one of the big things that changed as well is, since there's drop rates now, the chests have finally been updated, and instead of just dropping a couple pieces of gear, chests are finally able to drop some gear, materials, along with some gold and other like crystals for the player. So now the other materials and resources are starting to find their way into the game, starting to push towards the goal of having like materials and resources actually have like a big effect on the player.
Yeah. Pretty soon we'll be able to like actually go to the blacksmith and shuffle some items around and reforge some things, and that'll be game changing again, because right now it's sort of hard to like build your character at the beginning, because if you don't drop like an item with strength on it right away, you're kind of have to farm forever just to get that. Whereas, you know, once we get like a blacksmith and the crafting materials and stuff actually working, you'll be able to reforge an item and not have to spend so long like farming for uncommons.
Yeah, it's like, at the moment, you go into level 1, and if I open that first chest trying to test stuff, and I don't have a strength item, I either have to use the loot creator or just reset or something, because I can't fight with 1 damage.
Yeah, it's right now I'm using that little list that I have on the master dock where it tells you what starting items you should have, so then I like loot creator until I get the items that you should have to start, and then it works pretty good after that. So once we get that implemented, it'll feel a lot smoother, like jumping in with a new character.
Yeah, hopefully, like within this week or so, hoping to get that like tutorial armor set in, start the player off right, get a couple of strength items, maybe a little bit of health, and get the player really going at the very beginning so that they don't have to go straight to the loot creator to actually do some testing.
And just so you know, if you're listening, a loot creator is not a thing that's going to be in the final game. That's for the devs only to test with.
Our own special tool to abuse the game.
Yeah, it's something that's really necessary. You have to be able to kind of spawn stuff in. And I like the way we're doing it because it spawns things in randomly the way they would roll. So you can kind of like click it, you click it 20 times, but you kind of get the feel of like, oh yeah, like this would take way longer in the game to actually find the thing that I was looking for. So it still gives you a feel for it, but it's a little broken at the moment.
One of the things that is finally fixed on the loot is such a small issue was on high levels enemies, like kill 8 enemies. It says you only got 3 items of loot. Next thing you know, you exit and now you got no loot gained from that.
Which has been super discouraging. It's been like, I was like, if this doesn't get fixed, this is like so broken. Like I was feeling really discouraged when that kept happening to me. Like, it's kind of weird because that bug's been persistent for a long time. So I'm glad you finally like figured it out.
Yeah, like originally I looked down like, what is causing this? I wasn't sure at first, seeing it, and then looked a little bit into it. Surprisingly simple. All it was is the fact that the little loot icons, the things that show you what you gained, there was 1 less than there should have been. So the game could show you up to 7 instead of up to 8, and because of that, the game broke and gave you nothing at all instead.
Yeah, so there's potential for 10 items to drop from a battle because you can have 1 loot from each enemy up to 8 enemies, and then you can also get a potion and like a crafting material. So it was showing 7, but you were missing like 10, I think is what it is now, right?
Yeah, so up to 10 items to gain. Had to rework that little loot screen a little bit just to fit everything in, but it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it looks real good now. I'm thinking pretty soon, actually maybe with this current build, I could probably do a new video for everybody. I've been like teasing that on the podcast and stuff, but I might just maybe this weekend I'll bite the bullet and and do the work to create a new video. It's a little harder now because you don't fly through, so it'll be a little less like speed gaming. I'll have to maybe prepare what I'm gonna do a little bit more than I did in the past, but I'm excited for everybody to kind of see how everything's coming together.
Yeah, with all the changes and additions to the game, it'll be vastly different from the last video that was shown.
Yeah, the new build has the 2 newest mobs in it, or the 2, I don't know, they're not the newest, but they're the ones that have been done the longest waiting to go into the game. So we now have the Blub, which is the tanky gelatinous cube mob, and then we also have the Sludgeosaurus in there now. That's the kind of glass cannon dinosaur spitting at you mob. So those have been really game changing, and those have actually just been in the build you gave me a couple hours ago. So that's what I've been doing for the past couple hours, is just marveling at having Blubs and Sludgesauruses in the game now.
Yeah, finally getting those guys in and seeing them in game really changes how things work, and like you can really feel the threat of them in comparison to the previous 2 enemies. Like if you load up the higher levels and you see a bunch of Sludgesauruses going against you, know that you're about to take a lot of damage from them.
Yeah, you can't just like spam through the game with like 100 health now. You actually have to be able to take hits. So it's kind of pulling the balance more to where it should be too, because like I said before, you could just easily get enough stats and then you could just tank all the Blubs and puke rats and you just do whatever you want. But now it's kind of like you have to strategize a bit more and make sure you can take a hit from a Sludgeosaurus, because I think the highest that the puke rats were doing at level 10 was like 30 or 40 damage, and these guys will hit you for like over 100 now. So
yeah, especially since the Sludgeosaurus is able to do crits, so they are actually able to enhance their crits as the battle goes on. So if you don't take them out quickly, they'll just keep getting stronger and stronger, and eventually they'll take you down for being slow in the fight.
Yeah, you either have to have an item to like kind of snipe them that can like target them, or you want to has something that hits everybody and knocks them all out. I'm starting to see that the items as they currently are, the attack everybody abilities, are super overpowered at the moment. So I'm gonna let it go and let it ride and see where everything falls out as more stuff gets added. But I think those abilities are gonna have to be nerfed so that they don't do, since you can hit everybody, you shouldn't be able to do as much damage as the attack that just hits one person. If you're hitting one mob for 1,000, you shouldn't hit all mobs for 1,000, unless it has a really high mana cost or something. So I'm gonna have to balance all that out, but I'm just kind of feeling it out for now.
Yeah, as it stands, because of the power of not only the AoE attacks, but I feel like targeting attacks, selecting what enemy you want to hit, both of them are super beneficial, and like just through testing, I'd give myself the weapon that has both, so I can clear things out as quickly as I need to.
Yeah, for sure. I'm feeling like right now the Destiny wand is like the most broken item in the game. Have you tried it out?
I don't know if I've used any of the wands yet.
Yeah, the Destiny hits everybody for multiple times with the magic missile.
That does sound unfair.
Yeah, it's hitting a lot, and I think the mana cost needs upped, I think, is the problem with it right now. Because, I think it's only like a 6 base mana cost, so it's pretty easy to just have that, enough karma to have that every turn and just spam the magic missile. But
don't give the enemies a chance.
I mean, eventually you have to get more powerful than them, but not immediately.
Part of the trouble with the character being so powerful is you're losing the opportunity to die, which means you don't get to see the nice death messages we've been filling the game with.
Yeah, I snuck some like Easter egg kind of style death messages in, so it gives you a random death message every time you die, and like I was Googling trying to find like iconic death messages from other games to like kind of mimic a little bit. So I think there's one in there from Fortnite and one in there from like I can't even remember all of them.
Yeah, I like the simple "you died" from Dark Souls.
That's a pretty good one. Do we have that one?
I don't think we do.
I don't think we do, but I'm gonna add it right now while we're talking. I can just add to this list, right?
Alright, more you add, and then just throw it in game, and it'll start working immediately.
Alright, it's in. You died. That's great. Yeah, there's the Skyrim one, like the Skyrim used to be an adventure like you. There's some that are just things that I would say like rip in peace. That was actually, I just took all my gear off and went to level 10 and just died a bunch of times in a row to make sure all the messages were loading in correctly.
Oh yeah, on your end you have to, if you want to see them, you have to die a bunch of times and hope that it gives you the right message.
The loading screen one from Minecraft that says music by, instead of C418, it's me, Clone 334. So that's been used as a death message as well. Yeah, like, I guess this doesn't have to be a super long episode, but the only other thing I had on our notes that I could remember was we had a potion bug too, because I kept like healing a ton, and I kept thinking like, wow, this potions heal 40%. I wonder if we need to like bring that down to like 35 or 30 or something, because it just seems like it's too much healing. And then I started like doing the math on it and realized that they were healing like way more than they should, like maybe 70% health.
Yeah, so from what I looked at, it was a funny little thing where if you use a potion in combat, you use 2 potions for the price of 1, and 1 potion was half as effective. So you heal, you got like the 40% from the initial heal, and then you also get like the bonus 20 to 30%, because it's activating a weaker version of itself. So
that's so weird.
Got that one fixed, and I actually thought after I fixed it I broke something else, because I used a potion and I healed twice, I forgot that potions take up a turn, and I also had health regeneration on. So you use a potion, and then health regeneration can also trigger for even more health. Although it would be much lower than what a potion could provide.
Yeah, the health regenerate is that's one that I like. Like that's always something that you have to get in Diablo, because like it's just like so good to be able to heal a little bit each turn and take some, instead of spamming potions all the time.
Yeah, I look forward to an enemy that can make use of health regenerate. Make them much harder to kill.
Yeah, for sure. Lifesteal enemy.
If I put that at the top of the target priority list for me, if I see that in combat, kill it immediately.
It's becoming more and more useful to click on the enemies during combat and see what they actually do before you start attacking.
Blub and Slogosaurus has new attacks and different stats than others, so you can check on them, make sure that you're targeting the right enemy, and you know which one's stronger in this case, or what you want to go for each time. And with them added, it also adds in enemy rarities, because originally we only had trash enemies, but now that the Blub and Slogosaurus exist, they can be trash, uncommon, rare. Gives the opportunity for enemy scaling to really show itself.
Can they currently scale, like, to be uncommon or rare?
So from what I saw, the text says, it'll say the different things on them. I didn't check if the stats are varying based off that, but I know for a fact that when they spawn in, the Blub and Slogosaurus could be like a rare class enemy.
Okay, because I hadn't seen that yet, so I wasn't... I was sort of under the impression that they were still all just trash, but that it would make sense that they're rarer and you wouldn't see them as often. But yeah, I'm excited to get those all working properly so that we can like have a real dungeon with the right like mix of enemies. It's gonna be so good.
Oh yeah, and then once that's in, I feel like you're gonna really see how painful a legendary drop rate might be, because what is it, chance for a legendary?
Don't say that. I'm gonna bleep that out. We don't talk about the drop rates in public.
Okay.
Because that's something that is most games. I don't know of any other games where they actually publish the drop rates. It's usually the players do the math and try to figure it out. So yeah, but yeah, it is really low. But also we don't have any like buffs to drop rates or anything in the game yet. So there's gonna be things eventually, hopefully, like daily modifiers to like things and drop rates to like the breaches and stuff. So certain things will have modifiers that increase the low drop rate, and I just wanted to start out low. And I say low, it started out where I think it should be, but with the intention that you'll be able to increase it as a player. You know, you'll have things like the snack juice and things like that will bump those up. And you can get item find on loot and stuff too. And the, oh man, I can't remember what the goggles, I think, is what improves your item find as well. Or no. Oh yeah, gold find is the metal detector, I think, and then the item find is the goggles for spotting the items. Might be the other way around, but there is a lot of things in the game that can improve your drop rates that we don't have yet. So it's another one of those things where it feels worse than it is, I think, but it'll also might need tweaked. But I want to stick with my gut until we have everything in the game, and then go from there.
Yeah, once those consumables find their way in for drop rates and such, you can really get some intense farming going.
Yeah, that's the plan. You know, like, you can play a certain amount per day with your energy and things that drop, but then eventually you can like really plan out like a farming session and hit those consumables and spend a night streaming and dropping legendaries and stuff. So I think the way I have it planned, it should work out, but if it doesn't work out, then we'll tweak it so that it does work the way it is intended. So one thing that's different in our game from the other ones with the drop rates is like the other games have what am I trying to say, like in Bit Heroes, which maybe I should bleep. I try not to mention the BH game, but their items, every time you get a legendary, it's the same item no matter what. Like, it's the same stats. So in our game, I think the drop rate is going to be a little higher than what they have, but you can also roll like a bad legendary, since they can roll in a range. So, a legendary at level 10 can be anywhere from 100 to 250 major stats, so it's kind of possible to roll a bad one. So we'll take that into account too whenever we set the final drop rates.
Yeah, drop rates definitely have to be heavily influenced by the quality of the loot, because if you almost never get a legendary and then you finally do get one and it's just absolute trash, then I can definitely say that would be very disappointing for the player.
Yeah, I will say that I have played Bit Heroes for weeks at a time and not gotten a legendary, so I think we'll do better than that. That's the Knobcat promise. But yeah, I think that we're getting close to our time. That's all the main improvements and bugs I think that we've hit in the past 2 weeks. I tried to make the list based on your change logs and stuff, so I think we've got them all, unless you can think of something.
Depends. I mean, do you count finally got crystals, energy, and astrolabes?
Oh yeah, and yeah, we had gold, so now we have crystals, astrolabes, and energy. So they're not actually, I don't think there's any way to get an astrolabe in the game yet.
There's not, but
okay.
got them in, got their placeholders, so all the 4, I guess, primary resources, I'd call them, is in-game and slowly getting their functionality.
Yeah, it is really cool seeing them at the top, now instead of the, pixel art piece of gold that's been the placeholder since the beginning, we now have, Ben's art in there, and it looks so good at the top of the screen. It's just like another one of those little things that just makes such a huge difference, I think, in the overall look and feel of the game.
Oh yeah, and when I get that energy in, I feel like the first thing I do is get another button added into the game that just gives you energy, because last thing I want is to be testing and run out of energy, lock myself out of the game.
Yeah, and then have to wait. No, for sure, we'll have the consumables at some point too that can do that, but yeah, for testing you need to be able to just play, but I think it should fall where you have a pretty good amount of energy and you can play for a good amount each day. I feel like that's kind of a catch-22 too, because some people start out and they're like, why is this energy system here? I want to be able to play as much as I want. I don't want the energy system slowing me down. And that's the mindset when you first start. But then once you've become a daily grinder and you're actually playing the game as intended on a daily basis, then you're like, oh, I gotta get through all this energy or I'm wasting it. So you go from wanting more to almost wanting less, or at least to being as efficient. So you kind of you want to get through it all and make sure you're using it up. So I think finding the balance on that is going to be another fun balancing act as well. It should work out. The way I have it planned is your energy to play a dungeon is the dungeon's level. So level 1 just takes 1 energy, so you can farm there as much as you want with your starting energy, and then as you get higher, then it's the dungeons are a little bit bigger as they get higher level and stuff too, so it evens out where you're getting higher level loot and more chances at elites and stuff for more energy. So it should work out, I hope.
Hopefully, but it'll definitely be a unique system to balance in the game, because if you do it wrong, people will be complaining like, oh, I don't have enough energy to gain this loot, or I can only play for like 10 minutes a day or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it'll definitely be more than that. We'll make it work as intended, so I don't think there'll be any worry. Once the game launches, we'll have that all sorted out. But for now, it's another interesting challenge. But yeah, that was a good one that I almost forgot about. But now we're actually getting up on the time limit for the podcast. I can't believe how fast these go. I always start out and I'm like, are we gonna have enough to talk about? Is this gonna be a good episode? And then at the end I'm like, wow, I can't believe 30 minutes went past already and we didn't cover everything.
Yeah, time can fly, especially when you're going over stuff like this.
But yeah, I think that's it for now. If you've made it to the end of the show and you're not in our Discord, I urge you to go to knobcat.com, find the link to the Discord, get in there and chat with us. If you have any questions about something we talked about, I'd love to answer them. We can either answer them on the next show, or I'll definitely answer you in Discord, because for some reason I'm on Discord 20 hours a day. But yeah, get in there. Also check out our Twitter and Instagram. We've been slacking a little bit posting there, but if we get more people following it, I think that'll be a little more inspiration to me and Nika to start updating them more again. But yeah, those are both at Dungeons Obelisk. Don't forget knobcat.com, and I think we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
See ya.